Coming out of week 1 of the UKLC, XL put themselves at the top of the tower, taking Fnatic Rising out. As we come into week 2, Fnatic Rising sit with 0 points, and they have a tough climb ahead of them. M&M as well were thwarted on their advance towards the top of the tower, as they only made it into the top 4. It's all to play for coming into week 2 of the UKLC. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the best plays from the UK League Championship from week 1. Starting up at number 5, only Angel becomes a demon, finding all the critical sweet spots to secure a teamfight victory.
And it will get picked up. There comes the engage on Rangus. Really nice stopwatch, but can he get out? It does look like it in the end. Scoot goes in, really Dipper uses his own stopwatch. And there comes the reset for only Angel. Finds the first kill as Kavo and Beely try to get away. But the Aatrox is having none of it. The shutdown comes through as only Beely is the one who stays alive here.
At number 4, Zergoff hops in only to get popped.
Gets sacked by Special's last breath. There is the engagement. That Special gets taken down once again. Munkus gets really low and so does Kasing, but they both use their stopwatches. There is the pop loss of a great Mega No knocks 2 against the wall. And that is going to be the team fight that Barrage were looking for. As we see D.Va once again. Zergoff plays the saxophone and Jon is trying to run away. Zergoff does not find him, and that is going to be the end of it. Is he going to jump over? Zergoff, no!
You don't win that!
Why?
Wait, he was waiting for him.
Yeah, he throws away the saxophone.
Yeah. At number 3, Heathen doesn't care if you have an LEC bot lane. He's going in hard, baby.
All of the difference there. And still they're denying the back and drag. Actually, great hook comes out.
There is the flashing gate, and Yarnan is immediately demolished. Kasing doesn't even get the time to heal as the damage comes through from the barrage there, from the Ezreal, and the Heathen still chasing on.
Chimera, with the fancy footwork, helps secure a solid 2v2 victory.
They no longer have the threat. Shannon, actually, they're looking for a play here.
Great knockup. Last breath comes down. Chimera has the egg for the moment. He's trying to stay alive. He places the wall. Fury sidesteps everything. But now Zizzle is on top of him, forcing to run away. The slows are coming down. Chimera holds fast. They've still got damage coming down. Zizzle is alive. Purify is low.
Oh, the flash!
That's going to be the flash force to secure the kill. Fury is running away. The wall pins him in place. And Chimera has a shield from Wisdom as Chimera finds the kill. And at number 1, our tower matchup was Fnatic versus XL, and Special rocking the Yasuo with the most insane wind walls to block all of the Fnatic Rising engage.
The engage, great win from Special means that the Glacial Prison gets in on as Magi Felix finds his way on top of Yarnan. Teleports comes in, but Yarnan is already gone as the Requiem comes through. A lot of damage here as Shikari dodges through, but Ixmati stands too far forward and gets taken down as Special is still alive, as GA hasn't even been procced. We see Shikari and Magi Felix trying to do the work, but they can't manage to find anyone else, and it's just Yarnan who early on got blown up as
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UK League Championship. My name is Jake Praying Matthews, and I'm joined by Chronicler for your last week here on the show before you go back off home. Come here. I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss you. Oh, God. We probably messed all our cables up, but our sound guy just spent 5 minutes before the show gets started to get ready.
But that was necessary, though.
Absolutely. I mean, what an incredible week 1 we had. And also, just, I mean, we had all those highlight plays coming through. I'm excited for this week. I'm so excited because, I mean, you look at teams like Fnatic, who are currently sitting with 0 points. You got M&M, who, you know, it felt like they were cut short in their game versus XL because they had a pretty good game versus them. I think a better game for Fnatic did as well. So pretty exciting stuff coming into this week. And obviously we got the new blood, like Demise, able to make it to top 4 in their first week in the UK League Championship. And then you've got teams like Envision as well, who were cut a little bit short.
That's going to be a rough matchup today for them as well, unfortunately, because Demise was already kind of rough, as it was 2 seconds away from a record victory. And then to face off against Fnatic Rising, as you say, 0 points, they're not going to be happy with that.
Well, if you missed any of the action from last week, you can actually head over to our YouTube channel, LVP UKLol, catch up on all of the previous VODs and videos. You can also watch previous tournaments like the Spring Split, Forge Champions, and all of those goodies. And if you want to get involved in the conversation, head over to Twitter over at LVP UKLol. Use that hashtag UKLC to make sure you'll get in touch with us because it's Chronica's last day. I want to hear your heartfelt farewells, so make sure you do get those up so then we can put them on the stream. There's lots of goodies going on Twitter as well, actually. We've also got a giveaway currently going up for an Envision jersey. So the way to enter that is you head over to the LVP UK LOL Twitter, get involved with all of the information on your screen and anything else happening on the Twitter, because after, it has to be in by Thursday because that is the end of the competition. So tomorrow, and then next week, we'll have a different giveaway with a different jersey. I've not been told what jersey it is yet.
We don't know.
I don't know why, but I don't know what jersey. So it's just as much a surprise for me on Friday as it is for you. But yeah, every week of the show, we'll be doing a jersey giveaway. So make sure you get involved, get your favorite jerseys, get even jerseys you don't like, because actually they're all pretty nice. We had a little jersey.
Yeah, we had a little talk.
Stare down earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
What was your favorite one?
I gotta say Excel. You know, it's clean, it's classic. I really like it. Although, gotta say Barrage also has a nice touch to it.
I actually did quite like the Diabolus one. And speaking of Diabolus, let's have a little look at our unsung hero voted by you guys on Twitter coming out of last week. Take it away.
Can I do that? Thank you very much. It is, of course, none other than Mike Fure-Wils, hero from the Benelux. And great to see that he's got a great KDA here as well. Good performance there in the middle lane for Diabolus. High kill participation, lots of damage done. And as you were saying, I think Diabolus coming into this split weren't that hyped up, but thus far, first week, great performance.
I mean, rocking the Yasuo on your first day on the UKLC, like,
That's
man, dude popped off as well. He looked really, really good on that. And it was awesome to see how many Yasuos we had last week. Like, if I see a lot of Yasuo in my solo queue game, I'm probably banging my head on my keyboard at that point. But when I get to see them in competitive and actually, like, people who are really good at the champion, which it turns out we have a lot of good Yasuos here in the UK, a lot of good Yasuos. It's really, really fun to watch. So I'm hoping we get more coming into this week.
I'd expect it, but we have less Excel. So
we do have less Excel.
That's fair.
But I mean, we have Xmaddy who played it. I'm assuming Magic Felix can play it. So that's 2 on Fnatic.
He plays everything, doesn't he?
We know Fury can play it. We've got other top laners who are eluding me, their names currently.
I think Zyko played it as well.
Yeah, Zyko, yeah.
Multiple solo kills.
Yeah. I think Only Angel also plays it, but I don't want to quote on that. But I'm fairly certain that's another champ he plays as well. He's big on these kind of carry top laners, like we saw him on his Aatrox last week.
Yeah.
Woo! Solo kill and Sendo a few times. He looked really, really good on that. He got it 2 games in a row, and I don't think we're going to see that again.
No, I hope not, for anyone facing him.
Let's have a little look at the bracket for this week and seeing how everything is going to be shaping out. Now, for anyone who is new to watching the UKLC for this split, we've done a few things differently. So normally after the round of 8, we used to have a bracket draw. That bracket draw will now take place tomorrow after the Tower Challenge. So after our game versus XL, we'll be drawing to find out who is going to be playing who in a round of 8. But for the rest of it, the bracket will play out as shown on your screen.
And a lot of exciting games here today. I think if you look at all of these, a lot of distinctions in our predictions as well. Not a lot of ones. I think Fnatic Rising are the only one who are generally seen as the favorites in that match. And even though they got beaten by XL was looking unstoppable last week.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the matchup where it's a little bit more off. But the other ones should be really balanced, really exciting. And I really want to see who takes it in all of those.
Well, we just put the bracket up on your screen, but let's have a little look at the schedule, see what times everything will be happening. We'll be starting the day out with Phelan versus Demise, and following up will be Envision versus Fnatic Rising. Third up after that will be Diabolus versus Enclave, and we'll be rounding the day out with Barrage versus M&M.
And as you're saying, I'm really excited for the last 2 games because it, players from our region, so I always tend to gravitate towards those. But Demise also coming really hot on a great first week. Came up a little bit short against Diabolus. Yeah. But they are a team that, to me at least, performed really well, kind of above expectations. And Phelan, I think they're looking really good coming into the split, but the first week didn't really come to fruition the way they liked it. So that first match already is going to be a really exciting one.
I'm actually really excited for that Demise game because they are going to be my team to watch. But I'm also pretty interested to see this Fnatic game. I know it's versus Envision, but they're going to be mad, man. They were comfortable at the top of that tower. They had a whole month just to chill and relax after Forge Champions, and then XL come in on the first week, kick them out. So they want to climb back up. But let's have a little look at your predictions and our predictions coming into week 2 of the UKLC. Chronicler currently leads the pack in points, which we don't actually have on screen, unfortunately. But let's have a little look at where everyone's kind of predicting. Me and you, it's the first game, we're
left,
agreeing.
Right? Are those the points?
Oh,
right predictions?
Yeah. I forgot the points.
That's fine.
Okay,
No,
well,
I mean,
I read that wrong.
yeah.
Can I get our predictions back up? Is that
It's
something
fine,
we can do?
I'm
Predictions?
first. Like,
I
that's
want to
the
read the
only
numbers
relevant
again.
thing.
I don't actually know how good I'm doing versus Orcs. I know I'm beating him.
Yeah, you are. By enough points.
By enough points.
Don't worry about it.
Superior analyst, man.
Yeah, but I'm above you.
Yeah,
So I'm the most superior
Yeah, so
analyst.
you need to lose now.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not gonna lose.
if you go home with the best points, I mean, I guess you walk out, you know.
I walk out victorious and you can never challenge me anymore. Like, even after those weeks.
I mean,
doesn't really
technically
matter
there is a chance for me to earn more points, but I don't know how that works. But percentage-wise, I don't think it would be possible unless
true.
I have an incredible season of predictions. But
got this.
I've always been predicting the not tower champion to take
That's
the
true.
tower.
Last week you had Eminem.
I had Eminem last week. They did fall to the tower champion, so I mean, like,
Close enough.
and they had a good game versus them, so I don't think it was out of the realm of possibility. But this week I'm going for Fnatic Rising. I think they were caught off guard by XL. I think they're not going to let that happen again. I'm curious to see how they work with NG, their new jungler, seeming as Dan has moved over to the sister team on the LEC as their sub. So, you know, losing Dan's actually quite big for this team, and I'm excited to see what NG is going to offer to them.
I agree. You know, for me, as you could see in the predictions, I saw Jan and Special and Kasing. I was like, you know,
Oh, there we go.
actually, I'm happy with that.
All right, Orcs, mate. What the hell? How have you got 2 points, dude? You're meant to know stuff.
He's the most knowledgeable one of us all.
You're being beaten
supposedly.
by Twitter currently.
He is.
Yeah.
That's rough.
This is Twitter actually can do your job better than you.
That's what they always-
If I'm on the bottom, it's fine. I'm a play-by-play caster. I'm not meant to be smart. I'm just meant to be loud. But like this dude, he's meant to be our big brain guy, and he's 2 points.
Isn't he the author of many a tier list as well?
All right, here's the deal. Orcs, while you can't accept because you don't have all volume. If I win this season in points, you're buying me a Nando's. Okay.
That was accepted. You guys couldn't see it, but Orcs gave us
that was a
the
good
double
deal for
thumbs
me
up.
because I didn't say that I have to buy him a Nando's if I lose. I
But
just
that's
said
implied. Let's be honest.
Well, he's now just said in my ear, if I win, you buy me
That's-
one.
that-
well,
that's-
think about
that's
it.
implied.
I literally just brought a new car, so I don't know if I can afford a Nando's. Let's have a little look at our next match of the day, which is going to be Phelan versus Demise. This is a really good match, actually, because I personally rate these teams fairly similar in the power rankings currently, but I think both of these teams have quite a high ceiling, quite a high potential. The top 4 is very, very undecided. Obviously, we can kind of place Eminem, XL, and Fnatic as our top 3, but that like 4th spot, you know, our other playoff spot, not playoff spot, our other kind of, you know, big spot to aim for, we don't know who it's going to be. At the moment, it's looking like it could still be Diabolus, but I honestly think the teams like Barrage, Phelan, and Demise have a really solid shot of going for that 4th as well, and maybe beyond, you never know.
And I think that's also why I really like the format, that it matters right from the beginning, right? Because what you're going to see here in these early weeks is really going to determine, because every single point is so valuable. The fact that Fnatic Rising is at 0 points, just because they were the tower champion, is a good example of that. So both these two teams, if you want to get at least onto the middle of the pack and supposedly above that, you need to start getting those wins in early. Now, Demise did that last week, Phelan didn't, so the pressure is on both these teams to either keep that up or step it up.
All right, well, let's have a little look at our match to watch for this game. It is obviously going to be in that mid lane. We're looking at Chimera versus Vixen. This is going to be really fun. Like, Chimera on that Nivea was really sick.
That
and
play,
I mean, Vixen
Furo.
throughout all of Forge Champions on the Assassin. Like, this is just going to be such a bloody good matchup to watch. I'm really excited.
Yeah, especially Vixen, also a very flashy mid laner, you know, someone that really likes to go for these big, aggressive playmakers and then actually make the plays on them. And that's something that we don't have that much of. You know, you have a lot of players who are just, they play their mid lane, they play it slow, they play it safe. I think Felix is a really good example for a player. Like, you're never going to see him lose lane, and you know he's going to hard carry, but he's not the flashiest player. Someone like Vixen, he just comes in and tries to go for the big play every time, and that's going to be really interesting, especially with picks like the Anivia. That's not picks you see often.
No, but I feel like when it works, it really works for Demise.
Definitely.
I mean, like we said at the beginning of the show, they were 2 seconds off, 2 seconds off the quickest game of the UKLC. So if it works, it works. But let's have a little look at our roster, starting up with Phelan. Coming in on the top lane is Zizzle, Soph is the jungle, Chimera in the mid lane, Achu and Wisdom as the AD carry and support.
And then on the other hand, we have the lineup for Demise here in a little bit, but Phelan Gaming looking okay in the first matchup, not as good as some might have expected. Zyko in the top lane, hidden as the jungler, Vixen in mid lane, and then Voxney and Vigo as AD carry and support. Batu, of course, off in Korea. Supposedly, you know, practicing to come back with a vengeance. So it's up to the rest of the team now to make it work. And as we were saying, a win is crucial for both these teams. Now, Demise, they've picked up a couple of points, but you can't really rest on your laurels and take it slow here.
There's a few points I kind of want to talk about with Demise as well. First of all, I want to look at the jungle with the fact that, yeah, Batu is off in Korea, kind of boot camping currently. So he's gone for a big chunk of the season while he's doing this. And he was honestly one of the star players for Demise in their game versus Envision. I also really want to have a little look at Den Voxney as a player as well, because we hyped him as like the kind of guy who puts the team on his back and carries. But this man was happy to step back and let the rest of the team pick up the pieces and carry. And then in the later games, he kind of played that janitorial role. So it's actually nice to see that Den Voxney isn't just kind of like a one-track kind of horse here. He is capable of just going, I'm not the star player, I know my role, but still is able to play really well towards that, as we have headed into picks and bans. Nunu, Yasuo, Lux, and Anivia being banned away so far.
Yeah, and the Anivia, of course, after Phelan or Chimera's last performance on the Anivia, not too surprising there. It's also, I think, something that you might not be as experienced against, whereas a lot of other mid laners, you're going to have played that matchup so many times that you're relatively certain, whereas the Anivia, it's such an old ball. It scales really well. If it gets ahead, it can be super oppressive. So I don't dislike that. Aurelia, incredibly strong. Means a lot of power picks are still open, though. The Yuumi, the Sejuani, the Karma, all still open and available. Also, the Aatrox, only Angel, of course, really looking good on that, but it's just such an incredible power pick at the moment, as the Xayah, the Lux also taken away. I know you love Lux, but a lot of people playing bot lane have not been liking
I like Lux mid, though. Like,
it's a very clear distinction for you.
This Aftershock Lux mid support is not my jam. I'm like all about the Dark Harvest mid lane Lux.
That's you.
That's real fun. Or like Electrocute if you're playing into an assassin.
You don't play
auto attack him out.
Aftershocks, like, no.
No, I don't play.
No-no.
If I'm playing Aftershock mid, I'm playing like Lissandra, dude. But
yeah.
Let's have a little look at Demise to decide to pick up. They've gone for the Nico and the Yuumi. Yeah.
And I think both of those are really strong. Yuumi, in that she is arguably one of the best supports at the moment. The Lux is a rough matchup first, so that gets banned away. Of course, Hardening Age is always somewhat of a risk when you play something like Yuumi, depending on what AD carry you can get with as well. And the Nico has been a really good flex pick. Can work in an AD fashion, although that's less popular ever since the nerf, but it's still possible if you want to go for that split pushing threat. Can play it in a lot of ways. AP as well, can play it in mid, can play it in top, so really flexible, really strong, can go a lot of ways. And Soph,
ooh,
that's a statement that you make there as Phelan, because going from the Karma, which is kind of an all-round pick, into the Lee Sin and the LeBlanc, that's something else entirely. As
that's a Garen.
That's locked in. That's
Where's
locked
that
in.
going? Yeah. Is that going top, or is there somewhere else you think it might go?
So you'd expect to go top.
Yeah.
That's my expectation as well. But maybe it's insane against the LeBlanc because you silence her and then she doesn't. I mean,
actually,
you need to actually get on top of her, right? Which supposedly is the hard part.
She gets on top of you.
But
she distortions forwards and you cue her.
Yeah, and
then you just spin to win.
Which is what you know. You play a lot of
All right,
TTJ.
we are theory
happens.
crafting. In your head, you expect this Garen to go top lane, but potentially it could get moved. The only reason I'm saying this is because we're in a meta where like Camille mid is viable.
Yeah.
And we have like really weird picks going all over the map. Obviously, one of the other picks that we haven't been seeing is this Silas jungle. I've now finally got to try it out. There are a few changes coming through next patch, which gives him the healing on his W versus minions.
It's going to be even better.
Which is going to make him really strong. But his clear at the moment is actually really solid. So there's a lot of things that can go anywhere, because also we got the top Nico, we got the AD Nico, we got the mid Nico. Like, Demise actually, I don't think, have shown their hand here.
Not at all. As you were saying, the Nico can go so many ways. Also, a Rengar bang coming out here towards Phelan, so I don't know if that's because they're expecting a top lane Rengar here from Sizzle, or whether or not they're expecting the Lee Sin to go somewhere else. A lot of ways that can go. As the Civ and the Elise gets taken away here, No jungler picked up yet for Demise, meaning that Elise ban is quite nice because as Phelan, if you can get control of the early game here with the Lee Sin and with the LeBlanc, it's such an incredibly potent combo. There's a lot of mobility, a lot of upfront burst damage and lockdown. So if you can actually get ahead, especially with the Karma, it's incredibly strong. And Demise, as a response, go for something that's really shutdown oriented. And I quite like that the Skarner speed it up with the Yuumi, find a pick, or if you get engaged on by something like Lee Sin, just immediately go for the Impale. It shuts down a lot of plays, and it also puts Hidon in a more supportive position. If you already have the Garen locked in, I quite like that, because that pick has supposedly got to come up big, because Garen is one of those picks that does okay if he can get ahead. If he doesn't, especially against a composition that can kind of kite him out, which with Ezreal Karma, you kind of expect that to happen, can have a lot of issues.
All right, well, like you said, the Ezreal's been picked. Now they're looking for one more thing here for Phelan. I mean, everybody on this team so far has insane mobility.
Yeah.
You got, obviously, outside of the Karma, but she still has the movement speed and the slow, so the kite ability. You then add a Garen in here. You've now got Peel. You've now got Engage. You've got so much to go with this. Now, that is going to be a Garen support and top lane Karma, I'm assuming.
Garen?
Sorry, Gragas support. I mean,
supposedly.
unless Yumi's going somewhere else, I don't think that Garen is going support.
I mean, honestly,
actually, no, it could be.
Honestly, watch them lock in the Poppy here, and then it'd be like Nico, Yuumi bot lane, but it's not going to be supposedly. Looks like they are thinking about picking up that Orianna, and what it really does is it rounds out the team composition for Demise here in you find the engage, and then once you got that, you got such an incredibly strong team fight.
Wait. What the hell is going on? They just picked Orianna. Is that Garen Yuumi bot lane?
Yeah. I want to say I'm not surprised.
How does this work?
So,
how does it
Dan Foxney has played a lot of carries. He's played the Vayne, he's played the Kaiser, and I was just told by Orcs, you know, that supposedly this is actually a thing, and I'm hoping
his words were, I played versus this in solo queue, and it's turbo broken.
I didn't want to paraphrase, but yeah, that's what I said.
That is literally the words we just got in our ears.
I hope not, because everyone's solo queue experience, if this works, is going to be a whole lot less fun. Because Garen is one of those champions that if he gets ahead, he feels, with the silence, with the spin, he feels so oppressive. And honestly, Yuumi is kind of the same thing, because if a Yuumi gets ahead, you feel like, well, I can't do anything. I try to engage, but I get poked down. There's the final chapter. There's the healing. If I can't hard engage on the champion, it's really hard. So let's take a look at these two full team compositions here. It does look like it was, in the end, I think the Karma support, meaning that we have the Gragas in the top lane, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, the Karma went top lane, which is pretty standard currently, really, for the Karma.
Yeah, Karma did go top lane.
Yes.
Okay, good. Meaning you do have the hard engage, which is nice on top of the Yuumi, but don't think you want to hard engage onto a Garen. So it's actually kind of a nice pick here in that what you traditionally do against the Yuumi, you should try to shut it down by hard engaging on it, but hard engaging onto a Garen is basically asking to get spinned on, which isn't great. So I'm looking towards Soph and Kamara here. I want to see that Lee Sin and that LeBlanc get ahead early on and try to figure out a way to take over the game from there.
All right, well, we've loaded through onto the Summoner's Rift for our first game of Week 2 of the UK League Championship, and we're starting the day off with Dan Foxney on Grasp of the Undying Garen. Oh, bloody hell.
I love it. You know, like I can't get over the fact that we're...
Relic Shield as well.
I mean, that's the only right answer here, right? If you're going to go for a melee lane like this, as we already have the Prowling Projectile coming out there, but Vism not getting tagged as of yet. And as I was saying, I'm looking at Soph, I'm looking at Kamara, because they are really the ones that, for me, need to kind of get this composition going, because someone like Wisdom can make plays, but against this lane, which supposedly is not going to be a lot of fun, because don't forget, with his passive, Garen has a lot of innate sustain. Now, Ezreal can poke, but Yumi's kind of going to help out with that, whereas Wisdom, I feel like it's going to be fairly neutralized unless he can actually get the help from Soph until they can really try and find these coordinated plays. And the same goes for Kamira. If you don't shut down that Orianna early, if you don't find an early lead somewhere as LeBlanc, your roams are going to be less efficient, and it's going to make it a lot harder for you to do what you need to do in a composition like this, which is find the key targets and shut them down. But that's something else. If you look at Demise's comp here, actually isn't that easy to find somewhere because Zyko is going to supposedly go AP. But the Nico is a really slippery target, you know, probably going to go for Azonias at one point in time. And the Orianna, while a suitable target, has a lot of survivability as well, especially with the cleanse. So
and the phase rush, which is actually really nice here because you basically get jumped on by LeBlanc, you Q auto W, and that procs the phase rush, and then you can break chains before they pop, which is really, really nice. As you're already seeing, Soft is looking to try and make something happen. The flash has come out, and Soft does land a kick, but not going to tower dive at level 2 here.
it's probably a good call.
Probably a very good call.
I would have gone for it. No, I wouldn't. Even I. And that really says
to be
something.
fair, I've played with your jungle. You might have.
I don't play League, so, you know, but if I would, yeah, supposedly.
Me neither, buddy. I'm sure Orcs later will tell you all about my Gangplank games from the other day.
Were it good Gangplank games? Or were
Oh,
getting...
they were not good Gangplank games.
They were not good.
Like, inting is not what I was
doing. It
doing.
wasn't on purpose.
But yeah.
It was what happened.
It's the kind of thing where someone would maybe say you're inting, but it's like, I'm just playing bad. I'm trying. It's just not happening.
It happens to the best of us, you know? And,
I'm not the best of us, though, so it just happens to the worst of us as well.
Yeah, but, you know, fortunately we can criticize players instead of having to criticize ourselves. Our players are not on spotlight here. Fortunately for everyone, because watching that would be fun for everyone involved instead of us, or except for us, rather, as now early game. Not too much happening yet, and I feel like the real action is going to come when the first objectives start coming up, when we're going to see Chimera and sort of try and look for a roam, as thus far, this bot lane seems to be holding out fairly well.
Yeah, they should be able to kind of equalize out this CS that's been pushed into them. They're going to drop a few here as the minions are a little bit too low, but for the most part, looks like Demise and Vigo should be able to stay fairly even to Achu now. Something to keep in mind is the fact that Achu is running that Kleptomancy, so while there's only a 2 CS lead, the gold lead might be a little bit more inflated in his favor as the game goes on. Already we're seeing a play, Chimera looking to roam, hidden, has Soft and everybody chasing in. The distortion up the chains do connect, that's going to be the kick as they go over the wall and Soft finds first blood.
And that's crucial here for Soft and Chimera. They need to find these plays already. Forcing the flash on Hidden means that once he hits at level 60, Impale is going to be less impactful. And it also gets the kill on one of the most important members, that Lee Sin, so he can get more going around the map. Now, Chimera having to use the flash isn't the biggest of issues with how slippery the LeBlanc already is. Great play there by Phelan. This is the kind of plays that you're looking towards here if you want to stay even or find a lead as Psycho gets taken really low on the Nico there.
Yeah, let's take a big, big chunk. Means he's going to have to get that base off for the moment. Zizzle now quite comfortable to also get himself in a better base, because this means that most likely Zyko is going to have to teleport back to the lane, where Zizzle can probably hold it if he wants. He'll have the mobility of his shields and stuff to get back onto the map a bit quicker.
And look at that back as well, going for the Spectre Skull first, meaning that Zyko's damage is really going to be heavily mitigated, especially since he only got 2 amp tones. And it's a combination of the CS lead that we've seen develop in combination with the Klepto procs, meaning that there is a lot of available gold here for Zizzle, and the Karma, especially the tankier variants, can become a little bit frustrating to try and chew through here. So Zyko probably not going to have the best of times against that. Also one of the reasons why the Karma is still so strong and so popular at the moment. And now we're starting to see more jungle clears come through here. And besides that first bot, where Hidden stepped a little bit too far forward, not too much. And I keep looking towards Dan Voxney and Vigo, because this bot lane is, I don't think, something that anyone saw coming here.
It's one of the things I actually want to have a little talk to Orcs about after the game. See, when does this lane get really strong? Because it feels like the later this goes, the stronger this is going to be, the more oppressive this is going to be to deal with. Because Garen just becomes so tanky, and with a Nico on top of him, it just becomes really hard to cut him down as he just sits on top of you and just has the execute with his ulti. My only concern, if you are Demise with this particular lane, is the amount of peel, the amount of mobility available to this team. I mean, who do you go for? The Gragas can disengage most people out of the game, out of the engage. Zizzle also can back up with that disengage, and providing slows and tethers and things like that. That is my question, is how do they find these openings? Is it about flanking and just going for the big play tower dives, or what?
Supposedly, I think that you're really looking to someone like Hidden, like Zyko, finding an impale, finding a root, finding a pop blossom, just anything that can give you on top of it. Simultaneously though, I think that as soon as level 6 is hit, don't underestimate Final Chapter, because you're saying there's a lot of disengage available, but it just takes one good flash to get on top of someone, and then the Nico gives you so much.
Soft misses out. The chains do connect onto Vixen. It chunks him low, but if Soft had landed that kick, he would have had to flash the kick. Could have been a kill.
Vixen not having to use either flash or heal, so he's feeling very comfortable there. As Zyko, yet again, taking a lot of damage here, and that's going to feel a little bit unfortunate. But as I was saying, the chasing potential that the Nico provides you, especially with the speed up you get from the Orianna, from the Nico itself, from the Skarner, there are a lot of tools available here, but it is reliant on Demise actually finding those engages, because you were saying you have a hypermobile composition, you have the Karma, and I do feel you're somewhat reliant on feeling mispositioning here and there for you to actually find it. Or, like I say, you need to find a really big flank. But thus far, seems to be doing fine. And one of the issues that you traditionally run into with a composition like this, where you don't have a traditional AD carry, is actually sieging. But I do feel like Demise, while not having great siege, you still have two ranged laners that can kind of chew through turrets. The poke from both Nico, especially the AP variant, and the Orianna and the Nico, or the Yuumi are there. So you have some siege available. It's not amazing, you know, it's not like a Tristana that if you get a moment along with a turret, you blew it up. But there's some possibilities here, which kind of alleviates one of the traditional issues that you run into with weird lanes like this.
I do feel that the same could be said for Phelan, maybe to a lesser degree. Their siege is also not the best at the moment. If you do look at what they've really got, they've got a lot of poke and prod for the siege, but like to fast push the waves, they either have to send people into the wave, like Ezreal typically struggles on these waves. You do obviously have the empowered Q by the Karma, but that's kind of like your major big damage. But Hidden, in the meantime, had a pretty quiet start after he got that kill, but after he got killed, but now he's going to be able to pick up the Cloud Drake for his team.
Really on the nose of Soft, because he was just recalling in that brush there, not seeing opportunity to get on top of Dan Voxney and Vigo. And honestly, you know, we always deride Cloud Dragon for being the least loved of dragons, but if you have a Skarner, Garen, Yuumi composition, I say that Cloud Dragon has got to feel good.
I don't know, I feel Cloud Drake's been on the rise in the polls of recent.
Yeah. It's still the most underappreciated Drake,
I think Ocean Drake is the most unwanted Drake.
Really? No, man.
Yeah,
Everyone I talk to is about that early Ocean, like the level 5, level 6 Ocean Drake.
I don't know. I still find Cloud more exciting early.
Really?
Yeah, it means you can move around the map not quicker. Obviously, the initial one isn't so good, but if you can get 2 Clouds, which this game has, if you can get them nice and early, your map rotations can actually be really solid. And the fact that now that it gives in-combat movement speed, especially into a team like this, where they've got hyper mobility and hyper peel, it is a good Drake to get. If you can get both of them, it just means that you have that slight extra chance to get on top of people. Procking that with the likes of the Yuumi speed-ups, the Phase Rush, the Nico, all the things you were talking about, Double Cloud is not a bad Drake for them. Obviously, you'd rather the Infernal or the Mountain for the obvious reasons, but I feel like this is not a bad Drake for them to get. But we're focusing too much on just the Cloud Drake. Is
always
Chimera
happy to talk about Drakes.
trading onto Vixen, as Vixen actually uses the Cleanse early.
And something that we didn't see happen off camera, but I really like from Phelan there, is they use their priority, they use the roam from Wisdom there to set up that early Rift Herald, meaning that they're probably going to drop that before 14 minutes, get a couple of those plates, and that might provide them with the gold they need to kind of get rolling, because Demise had a little bit of a gold deficit early on due to the kill, but now they're generating actually a lot of golds, and it might be hard if against a composition like this you don't find that lead, because while the Lee Sin and the LeBlanc are going to do their job incredibly on the early to mid game, once you get to late, especially if you don't have a lead, you're going to jump on top of a target and might be able to deal with specifically that one, but you don't really have the constant damage that you need, the consistent damage output, and just in general the composition is quite bursty. If you look at Phelan here, because you have the Ezreals, a lot of upfront burst damage, you have the LeBlanc, you have a tanky Karma, so it's not going to do as much, at least in terms of raw damage output, and the lead.
Oh, they actually might be going for this. Final chapter gets used, and the flash comes out by a Chu to disengage himself away. Good attempt there from Dan Voxney and Vigo. They are very comfortable in this matchup already. See the support item being finished by Demise, so also it does supply them with a lot of wards, and Demise's been able to pick up...
He doesn't care.
He's been just getting so many solar plates. I mean, Garen's passive, man. Mini Warmogs, you just heal up. And when you got a Yuumi, that was 1 Zoomies. That did a lot of work there. It's actually hidden. It's going to jump in. The Pop Blossom comes down. Soft flashes away. It's going to get slowed up for the moment, but now the charge comes forward and Zizzle looks for the opening. A lot of plates are gifted over. Zyko tries to find himself a bit of a play as a Soft, but he's unable to. But Vixen comes in. The Shockwave is not enough, and Soft dodges out with a fancy fit. As now Chimera gets the double distortion off as he's going for a trade onto Vixen, but he takes a bad end of that. Demise can walk away. Happy that they didn't lose the tower and they came out on top with the trades.
Yeah, but did they really? Because when the play started, Phelan were, I think, 300 gold behind. And even though they picked up those plates, now they're even further behind, almost a K at this point. And you gotta imagine it's due to this bot lane, man, because those plates have been racking up for Dan Voxney and Vigo. And don't forget, you also have double gold generation item. So even though they're playing against double Clapto, they're still somehow able to find the gold lead in the early game here. And I gotta say, Jake, if I look at the lineup here...
This is... Okay, so apparently what happens is Yuumi doesn't get stacks from the Relic Shield while she's sitting on the Garen. So what happens is she has to jump out, and then they pick up the minion there. Apparently she's just jumping out for cannons at the moment. I assume that might change a little bit later because he has 4 stacks on it, but for the moment, it's just kind of like a safety thing as well, but interesting information there.
Definitely. Thank you, Ox. Always providing us with more knowledge.
They're just going in. Final chapter's there. The cast gets used to send them packing as the final chapter. Not going to be enough to lock them down, but this is just so hard for Phelan to deal with. They have to blow something key to disengage from this engage.
So then Voxney is already this threatening. He doesn't have a Black Cleaver yet. Like, he's already spinning to win. He's so tanky off the back of just a single item. The second Cloud Dragon comes through here. And I gotta say, Phelan, I love the proactive approach that they take her in draft, but thus far, it doesn't feel to me like it's really been working out. Now we see Zizzle, he's going for a really support-oriented build, but the first Turbo Blood is gonna fall here. It's just after 14 minutes, so not the full amount of stacks, but still quite some as Zyko.
They might be looking for this here. They've got that tether to go down. It's going to use the Pop Blossom to try and disengage and shield himself. Chimera flashes in, throws the Ignite, misses out the chains, and Zizzle is tanking the tower. Zyko somehow is holding his life. The rest of the team are not able to make their way up, so this will be the end of Zyko as the redemption gets used by Zizzle to make sure they're alive. Meanwhile, Demise take the time they were bought to pressure onto this tier 2 in the bot lane.
Because while Zyko did die, which, you know, facing against the 3-man dive is probably always going to be the outcome. He did buy a lot of time, meaning that once again it's Demise who can get the push on here. Now the teleport comes through from Zizzle.
Hidden's there. He gets himself the slowdown as they try to get some damage onto Zizzle. Not enough to do too much here, but Vixen barreling in. Got that double Cloud Drake and the dissonance as Wisdom needs to be careful. The flash forward into the Impale. The silence is on and Wisdom forced to flash away. Demacia comes down and then Voxney secures the kill. Soft comes in. A shockwave lands onto for the final chapter is there. A double kill's been picked up for Den Voxney as he's spinning to win. It looks like Demise come up with 2 in the fight and they are not done. This is so oppressive. Den Voxney gets his way out with the heals, but the poke is scaring all of Phelan off, but not Zizzle as he is chasing. It looks like he's going to be able to step away for the moment. Whoa! Garen, baby.
I feel so sorry, as if they're actually doing ADC Garen and Yuumi bot lane right now. What is going on? What can you say to this?
I can say that's a bloody good drawing.
It really is. And then Voxney just got a double kill, Jake. I don't know how you feel about it.
Well, now he has the cleaver.
Listen. Look at the composition from Phelan. Do you see anything that can deal with a fat Garen? Because I don't see a Vayne, I don't see a Kai'Sa. You know, I see Ezreal, which Ezreal is probably going to be able to consistently kite away, especially once he finishes Zybon Gauntlet. But actually killing then Voxney?
I mean, at the moment, he's not that tanky, but he's going to get there. He's going to get there. Now that he's got the cleaver, this is where it does start to get harder and harder for them to deal with. So you are right. Phelan need to do something in these next kind of 5 to 6 minutes. Otherwise, I don't see how they kill this Garen.
You know, you got to be careful for confirmation, boys, just because Demise pulled this out. This might be a strat that, especially if you... Because we saw them lock it in mid-game here. Now, if this actually becomes a thing, the moment the Garen is locked in, you know it's not going top. You know that this is happening, right? So, we shouldn't call it too easy as Zyko yet again.
Blossom lands onto 2, does take that kick. The redemption comes down, and Soft will pick up his 3rd kill. Demise might have a Fed Garen, but there is also a Fred Lee Sin here for Phelan.
And it's really Zyko who's kind of the sacrificial lamb here because, don't be mistaken, he also hasn't really received attention. Vixen has roamed up every now and then, but Hidden really has been centered. One gank notwithstanding around that bot side. They do need to back now though, because giving up an inner is one thing, but actually giving up your inhibitor turret is not something you can really afford to. And the wave is going to go down soon, but I don't think that your turret is going to survive here.
They haven't got a wave to work with, but they are going to be able to at least take this turret. Soft taking a lot of tower damage. The rest of the team are speeding in and just going to pull it off for the moment. They do have those zoomies to work with. Voxney speeding up. Here comes Hidden. Here comes Vixen. The fight might be on. Chimera tries to get himself off, but an instant kill is going to be picked up. A shockwave lands onto Wisdom as he is trying to jump away from the rest of the team. 2 kills have been picked up for Demise as Vigo is able to find that second one. Down comes the final chapter as it is written for a Chew. He is taken out and Demise find free.
And that's pretty much as well as it could have gotten there for Demise, but they still give up that inhibitor barrier crucially. Now, I do think that they're going to trade 2 turrets here, but the inhibitor, the real problem, of course, is that now, if you have someone who can get to that, you're in a really good spot. But then the question that I have...
Zizzle?
Yeah.
Okay, Tether breaks. They're fine.
They are fine. That was a little bit scary there, but there's no Baron available crucially because if this happened a minute and a half later, would have definitely been a Baron here for Demise. Now the question for me is, who are you going to send top to actually split push there? Because this, to me, was a little bit of a macro mistake from Demise here. They underestimate how fast the turret can get pushed down, especially by 4 people. Your inhibitor is open, meaning that if you ever lose a fight near the top side of the map, that is something that they can go for because look at the rest of the map. Both outers are still standing.
You're right. You are right. I would also like to bring it to attention that Chew is going for the Triforce build on the Ezreal, recognizing that he needs to get as much damage as physically possible to deal with Voxney, who now has a Spectre's Cowl. So that tankiness is starting to really come into fruition here. As Zizzle gets slowed, he actually might just run at him here. The spinning to win is going to be there. The final chapter is written, and Zizzle uses his redemption to stay alive. Hidden just needs to find that impale, but Zizzle is able to flash away. As they go for the play, but Demise are unable to pull it off. As Soft and Chimera being flanked, that's going to be the slow. Zyko pops in with the flash bottom to get everything down. Soft is going to be taken out. Hidden is the one to secure the kill.
And that's going to be your 3rd dragon here for Demise. Also the Infernal Drake, the most popular of all the dragons here, getting picked up for Demise.
Oh! My God. That was close.
Yeah, that was, yeah. No other comment. It was in the end picked up by...
It was by
Zyko,
Demise, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. So that was indeed not the cleanest of smites, but Demise now a gargantuan gold lead here, and you gotta look at this Garen, but also, we keep talking about this bot lane, but give some credit to Hidden. He is here kind of as a substitute, as then Volkny yet again runs against the turret as if nothing in the world scares him, which is fitting for Garen, to be
They've
quite
got
honest.
a Knight's Vow on him, but they put on a Garen as well. They are investing heavily on Beyblade, man.
A Knight's Vowed Garen. That's not okay, Jake.
Well, now they have 2 Knights, so they get the armor bonus.
Even better. Even better.
We gotta stop making these jokes. I know people are gonna be really sick of teamfight tactics jokes, but I'm enjoying them, all right?
I mean, like, it's such a good game mode. Like,
game mode.
I really can't blame people for it. I do agree with you. I feel like, you know, maybe we should find a deeper level of that. But back to the Hidden praise, because I was going on about that. Like, he's 100% kill participation. Besides that early mistake where he got caught by Chimera and Soft, didn't let it tilt him, didn't get caught a single time after that, and ever since he's been able to consistently be there when he needs to be. And now Demise are really far ahead against the composition, which if you don't find a mid-game or early advantage, I don't think you're going to have the damage, because Chimera, not that big, Soft kind of is, but you see with the Spectre Scout is building more tanky, and Zizzle, yes, there's a lot of utility, but in terms of actual damage output, it's not going to be nearly enough to deal with a Knight's Vow Yuumi Garen.
12 stacks in that Medjai's as well. I do want to kind of have a little look at the standings where we currently are as well in the league. I know we're only on week 1, but Phelan sitting on 0 points. They didn't pick up a win last week. Demise are currently ahead of them. And before this game started, I was talking about how I feel these teams are fairly evenly matched as far as kind of power ratings are. This is a good kind of point for Demise. If they can pull this win out here versus this team, as Zyko gets jumped on, gets chunked out, has to pop Blossom for the shield. The cask delivers him in, and Soft secures the kill. Hidden now also going to get rooted up. They're going to throw the True Shot Barrage onto him. Good speed up by the command. Dissonances. Zizzle tries to find that last mantra, but here comes Garen.
No, he decides to batter off, and I feel like 4v5 fighting is a little bit over-ambitious. Although they need to be careful, because engaging underneath the turret is always a risk here against the Yuumi.
Fixing a Shockwave. Hidden comes in. That's going to be the final chapter. Shockwave doesn't quite find its mark, but Densvoxne is going to get tethered up for the moment. Gets rooted and healed up as he is now chasing on with the Zoomies. That is one speedy Garen. Chimera tries to find an assassination, but lands onto a minion. Densvoxne gets kicked out of the fight by the Soft. He's trying to see if he can get anything more going for the team, as they might have found the shutdown. The teleport's coming in. Zyko has Pop Blossom. The turning point may be here for Demise. The flash over the wall by Densvoxne. Zyko with the assassination on the backline. Finds the kill to Chimera. Zyko goes out of the fight for the moment. He will finally fall. Zizzle is the only one to stand, but the CC, the speed is just way too much. Demise finds the full ace. Wisdom actually lives, but it doesn't matter because they're going for Baron.
Spin to win, baby, as Densvoxne stays alive throughout all of that. And you've got to be looking at... Come on, Vigo's Yuumi there is incredible, but it's Zyko who redeems himself, because he's the one getting caught initially, getting knocked back, and Wisdom trying contested. We saw last time Hidden, a little bit iffy, but early explosive cast should be the end of that, as the Baron gets picked up here for Demise, and that also alleviates the issue with actually sieging here. But Zyko, he gets caught, and the moment he comes back in with the teleport, he finds the big Pop Blossom play, where Phelan, they get so greedy because they smell blood, they see that Densvoxne is low, Vigo starting to run on mana. Let's take another look at this team fight here, because this is, at this point of 4v4, with Wisdom already taking out the fight, and you can see how low Densvoxne get, and I think with the teleport coming in, this is the point where Phelan could have still disengaged, but instead, they smell blood, and they keep going.
They committed into that choke point, which was the bad point there for them. As this Pop Blossom, I know it only got one execution off, but it rooted Zizzle long enough for the rest of the team to then chase up. He then finds that route onto a Chew, and it's just easy pickings from there. Absolute whitewash by Demise in that fight.
And I got to be honest, if you're feeling here and you see the Garen locked in, you must be wondering as well, like, what is going on? And now we know what's happening here, as it's also Vigo on the Yuumi itself, of course, a pick that is really strong, has really high priority, even without something like this. But then add to that how well this has been working thus far, as a third Cloud Dragon is going to get picked up. And if
you thought they were speedy before. You got to go fast, boy.
He wasn't spinning fast, so then Voxney is just going to spin at them even harder. And with the Baron buff available, I'm expecting, hoping that at least one turret fall. Now it's up to Phelan to try and find his opportunities, because what we also see, and that might be crucial here, is that Demise, they're not flawless. We see these picks coming out every now and then when one member of them overextends, then Voxney and Vigo, if they aren't there and you can find a target, you can actually go for them. And Zyko really has been one of the people who has been caught multiple times, even on the Glacial Orb with Nico, which is a lot of safety. And that is what you're looking at as Phelan, because if you can single out a target, your burst is still insane. I just don't think you can ever team fight against then Voxney and Vigo, because you're just not going to get through that.
Going to be rough, as you're seeing now the problems of this Ezreal into team comps, but are going to be sieging with Baron, as the wave clear is a little bit weaker. Densvoxne, level 13 on this 80 carry Garen. Didn't think I'd ever be saying that.
I don't think anyone did, Jake.
No.
I gotta be honest.
Actually, like, look, he just doesn't care. He just steps up, gets the auto on the tower, jumps away. Like, He's so fine.
Here's a 25 stacks Magi's Yumi to back him up, so I wouldn't be afraid if I was him either.
Oh, Zyko going for a fight with Chimera, gets himself the slow off, tries to find the sigil into distortion, doesn't actually find his mark, but this time the Ignite will come down. Flash away from Zyko. Chimera also going to make a gentleman's agreement to step back as Zyko will live.
And he's drawing attention, but Zyko has really been the one who really taken the most beating in this game of the rest of his team, either never having died, or in the case of Hidden, having died just once. As the turret gets picked up, but here is the inhib, and this is where it gets crucial. They actually need to break open the base, because without, I feel like either Phelan needs to overstep, or they need to wait for the next Baron buff. And by that point, you know, more gold comes into the pockets of Phelan here. Although the gold lead now, Jake,
but look,
it's 9k.
They can't deal with this cannon minion. It's just staying alive for so long. The true shot gets used, and it's finally falls here.
That's the next
then
one.
Voxney is tanking Poke, but just has so much healing from his passive and the Yumi. The next one is now going to turn up, and Chimera has to join in to try and clear out this minion, but they're not going to be able to do it in time as Baron will be falling off here for the side of Demise. And they weren't able to crack at the base with the siege as Vixen gets jumped on by Chimera. Not enough to secure the kill, and Soft tries to follow up. This is what you were talking about. They do have that harder siege for both teams, but specifically for Demise.
And that is kind of an issue here, especially with the hard engage available. Then Voxney gets engaged on.
He's going to get the cast back. It's going to be Beyblade time as he's spinning in the middle of everyone. The Redemption's going to be used. Zizzle will heal up a little bit from that, and they're just not able, 1v4, to kill this Garen. This is insanely hard to deal with. Zizzle getting jumped onto as Vixen has to jump out, forces that flash away. It's Hidden, joins in. That's going to be the Impale onto the backline. They do have the Shockwave to work with, but Vixen will finally fall. Zyko is running away. He's the real one, but gets caught out. The True Shot Barrage finds its mark, and now Zyko is going to use the Pop Blossom, finds it onto Soft. The CC's way too much. Phelan find 2 kills, and then Voxney is going to just go back to the lane.
I mean, the fact that Dan Voxney can, you know, withstand all the damage is fine as Soft and Wisdom move in here.
They are chasing for the kills here. They have the ability to find these picks. Hidden, Flash and Chilling Smite available. Shouldn't really be getting caught out here. Phelan able to stop the siege here by Demise and send them packing. But they've still got a big gold lead. They've still got all those Drakes to work with, and they can always set up for Baron as well.
I feel like we have kind of a stalemate situation here where for Demise, I think on the next Baron, especially as they get more and more tanky and turrets get less and less relevant, just need to go in, just need to find someone, blow them up. And Zyko and Vixen's positioning has been a little bit suspect now multiple times because they try to get the push in, which is understandable, but they can't afford to take a risk if Dan Voxney is not there, because even though he's not playing an ADC, he is still kind of the crux of the composition, because if you don't have him, don't be mistaken, Soft and Chimera might look like strong, or Achu even might not look strong against Dan Voxney, but you're still going to get blown up if you're a Nico, if you're an Orianna, if you're not this beefy Garen. So they really need to be careful. We saw there as well, is that one thing that Demise's comp is kind of lacking is burst damage, because if Hidden pulls someone in and they don't get the silence into the root to just take them down, it's actually kind of hard to find a kill there, and a great flash engage on top of Vixen meant that one of their sources of a lot of consistent damage was taken out of the fight as well. Demise kind of have the opposite problem of Phelan, where they have a lot of consistent damage, but not a lot of burst damage.
Force Soft to jump away. You can see this Drake is spawning up in a second as well here. So it looks like for now,
that's going to help with damage, though.
Want to go for that. Yeah, double Infernal will be really nice with triple Cloud. Also makes the threat of the Elder really filthy.
Really filthy.
He's just zoning with the Yumi.
Yeah,
while
no,
the rest of the team just do the Drake.
That's the problem, though. Like, in the end, Demise can take any objective that they want, unless it gets stolen away.
Oh, Kick went wide, so he's not going to be able to close that gap. That's double Infernal. With Baron now on the map, this might just be the point for them to go, but slow lands onto a Chew, and Den Voxney running forward, looking for Chimera, going to get the chains onto him, as that's the final chap to use that, forcing the ulti distortion away from Chimera. The Mimic now going to be used.
And as you were saying, Jake, Elder Dragon is going to be huge for this team as well, because I think once you get either the Baron or the Elder, you can just run it down at them. The turrets don't matter anymore. And the one problem that Phelan have here is they are now relying on Demise making a mistake. Vixen or Zyko need to step too far forward, then you burst them down, and then the comp kind of lacks damage in a lot of situations.
Demise are going in for the fight. Zizzle is going to be caught out instantly, flashes over the wall. The Redemption's going to get used. The good cast by Wisdom breaks up the fight. The Pop Blossom doesn't stun anyone, but Hidden trying to find himself a target. The Impale comes down. Nobody has died in this fight yet. Chimera low HP, then Voxney half, but he's just so tanky. Holding that Demacia for the moment as he gets belly bopped and sent packing. A three-man shockwave comes out, followed up by Demacia as Zizzle is running away. Another team fight victory picked up for Demise.
And this gives him the opportunity to finally break open that base, and once the inhibitors start falling, more are gonna come.
No, that is so unfortunate. Minions are going to work up, and it might just be the siege. This might just be the game.
Might just be the end.
41 seconds on a Chew. You've got 30 on Zizzle. Chimera and Soft have to
They're not
hold
going to kill the Garen, Jay.
He's not even level 16 yet. He hasn't even got a max
He's
ulti.
tanking 2 turrets. He doesn't care.
He's so unbelievably tanky. Chimera jumps in, finds the chains onto Hidden. Soft will make sure the shield does connect, and it's just going to be one Nexus turret down, as looks like Demise are content with what they've got so far.
You know, coming to the UK, I always wonder about how the metas are for other teams. And it's nice to see that the UK can be just a clown fiesta, because I am witnessing...
There's a teleport into the base.
Yep, and that's the opening.
Oh, lordy. Denvoxney's going to get engaged onto, but he's Beyblading in the middle of the team. They're looking for the fight. The ultimate did land onto Chimera, but not enough to actually kill him. Followed up by the rest of the fight here as Wisdom has already fallen. Denvoxney
not a teleport.
looking for Soft. They've got a teleport coming in. They might just be looking to close the game right here. The bases are being cancelled. They choose onto the turret, but in comes Zyko. He has to try and clear out these minions right now. He's going to be killed. The teleports onto the minion. Vixen goes in versus Chimera. The chains are flashed away to be broken, and in comes Denvoxney to make sure that Achu is not going to win the game right here. The shift has already been used, and Achu will fall down as Denvoxney secures the kill. What the hell is happening?
No, they're there, Jake, because Zizzle gets taken down. Try to run away there, gets pinned to win. The final turret shot takes him down, and that was a hero play from Phelan, though. The amount of just sheer madness you need to make the call. Okay, just go for the double teleport. Just go for it. And they get the inhibitor, but I feel like the second teleport, where Achu was also sent up there, might have been a little bit overkill. I understand the decision from Phelan, because looking at this, they got to feel the same way that we do, which is, if you don't grab that opportunity, how are you ever going to win against this composition here? Unfortunately for them, it's not enough. They're just not enough damage here, and the Baron is now going to get started up. This top lane inhibitor is nice, but you just shove Zyko in the tight lane. Honestly, at this point, if the teleport is in time, I don't think you can win the team fight here as Phelan, especially with the Baron getting taken now in 50 seconds, or about 50 seconds, maybe a minute. The Elder Dragon is going to spawn. And then once you get that, it doesn't matter how bad your sieging is. At one point in time, you can just run at the enemy nexus and take it down.
It definitely was the do or die play. I think
I loved it.
Dragon's Rage was down as well, so if he could have got onto Denvoxney and stopped his recall, teleport,
yeah,
that would have been really big, because then that would also meant Vigo wasn't going with him. They could have really looked to try and make the win there, but that was close. That was a solid play, a really good call by Phelan. Didn't work out in the long run, but if they can stall, that is potentially another way for them to win. They've only got one Nexus turret and an open Nexus to take. They have to stall for these teleports, which means the Nexus will respawn, but...
One of the interesting things is that we see a limited healing reduction here on Phelan, kind of accepting their fate, because we only see the Executioners calling here for a Chew. And Morello's getting billed anywhere else. As Denvoxney, just, 3 people. I'm a melee carry. I don't care.
Yeah, he is very comfortable. Soft takes that Powling projectile as well.
That is just...
Now Chimera's jumping onto him. They might just try and see if they can find this to work, as the True Shot Barrage not going to find his mark, and the cast sends them packing. Not going to find that opening with the final chapter either, but meanwhile the inhibitor in that top lane is going down. The inhibitor in the bot lane being sieged up, and Achu takes a big chunk of damage. Then Voxney able to do this, as it looks like the attention by Demise might just be onto this last turret. They've got Baron, they've got minions. This is the play, this is the opening, but Vixen's gonna get himself a killing spree as Chimera goes down. The Beyblade has been summoned as Vigo gets one. A free-man Pop Blossom secures a double kill for Zyko. Every turret, every structure has crumbled before Demise, and at 35 minutes with 23 kills, they crush Phelan.
And Demise, after this team, they've got to gained a couple of new fans, Jake, because what was this game? We see the Garen getting locked. Is it Garen mid, you know? Instead, Dan Voxney, a guy we've seen, we talked about him before, on these highly mechanical, you know, high skill cap, aggressive AD carries, the Vayne, the Kai'Sa, you know, the killer instincts, the final. No, he plays one of the most simple characters in the game. I think arguably the least popular competitive character in the entirety of League of Legends.
I'd love to see the numbers on how many times
Because I know
Garen's
that
been
he's
played.
never ever been picked in LCK because they talk about that way too much. And it works splendidly. And I love the performance from Phelan here. There were a couple of high notes. I think that macro sense that they showcased is something that if they can shore up some of the other parts of the gameplay, they can really work off. And we saw some glimpses, the early play on Hidden. That is what they needed to do, but then they weren't able to consistently make it work from there. And then Demise comes, just Beybladed all over them.
It was a really, really good game by Demise. What an opener. Both times.
What an opener.
These guys have just like, every opener is by
This
Demise.
is a new team.
They open with a bang. Every week has opened with a bang. I know we're only on week 2, but Jesus, they're good. They are really fun to watch. I mean, this means me and you are now still ahead on the old power rankings. I've now beaten Twitter, which is key.
Didn't Orcs also go for Phelan?
No, yes.
If I'm not mistaken.
So Twitter and Orcs both
Still ahead of
voted
Orcs.
for Phelan. I'm doing good.
Got him.
I'm doing good. You know, we'll have to
Sorry,
see.
Orcs.
But what an incredible game by them. We will obviously have to kind of take a breath, but 2 weeks in a row, they've made it to top 4. So really good showing by Demise. They are in the same bracket with Envision and Fnatic Rising. So if Envision can pull their win over Fnatic Rising, I know you're looking at me weird about that. There's a potential for Envision to like get some real revenge. But if Fnatic win, you're playing Fnatic.
Yeah.
That is going to be rough.
I got to say, though, I feel like we saw Demise play last week against Albus, and even in this game, there were some moments where you see that this is an inexperienced team. Vixen and Zygo, not always at the right place at the right time, not really respecting the engaged potential of something like the Gragas. Thought Fiston played that really well as well. So against Fnatic Rising, they got to step up, but what an open here of the second week.
Then Voxy finally got that carry performance we were talking about, and it was on Garen. We're going to cut to a quick break, and when we're back, we'll be back with Envision versus Fnatic Rising. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you after the break.